Okay, I'm going to be talking about how I got my first remote closing position, right? I have actually spoken of how I got my first appointment setting position. Now I'm going to talk about how I got my first remote closing position. Got a couple of ones over time, but I think this screen is actually split. We have actually split. Yeah, it's actually split already. So let's actually break down the whole process. Was now, I always talk about how I came into appointment setting and closing. It was through basically building funnels, right? So I came from a funnel designer. While basically doing funnel designing for a while, I then actually stumbled on appointment setting, right? And I found out that these guys, because I was not really getting a lot of clients, so I kind of find out these guys were actually making like 2, 3, 5, 10 grand, right? So my appointments is making like 15 grand, 20, and all they had to do is just book the appointments. And I'm like, I'm running a sales agency and I have to basically book the appointment. Basically, I was not running a sales agency. I run a sales agency right now. I was running a funnel design agency and a web design agency. And I had to basically do all the stuff from find the clients, create content, basically create content, find leads, send messages, do appointment setting, qualify prospects, book calls, hop on calls, close calls, um, onboard them, provide the service. I was doing all this stuff and it was definitely hectic, right? And I was like, okay, I wanted first, basically, I've actually told you how I actually wanted to like get into appointment setting. What I did first was I tried to like hire an appointment setter for the whole business because I was wondering how I was not getting clients, right? Right, first thing I was working with a business, right? And I was wondering how I was not getting clients because I wanted to get a lot of clients. Then I really found out that these were people actually like doing this stuff, right? But first, they were basically, I just found out, okay, this is scale appointments as in the book appointments for you. So I was like, okay, this set of my business is actually fixed. Okay, booking appointments, qualifying the prospects, booking appointments, and some actually do lead sourcing. So I was like, oh, that first part of my business is fixed. I tried it out. I quick found out that appointment setters do not fix a dying business or don't fix a business that does not have structure. The only skill was working. That's when I basically like, oh, drop my pride. Basically went into appointment setting. Right, got my first gig, wasn't really good. Then I actually got from appointment setting. I actually like, okay, let me basically try out something else. That's when I basically started implementing two skills which I had already, basically three skills which I had already, and which was actually lead generation, had lead generation skill. Am I actually typing? Right. I had lead generation skill. I had the skill in appointment setting. And I had the skill in, why am I actually typing this? I had the skill, lead generation skill. Right. I had a skill in appointments. Yeah. Appointment setting. And I had skill in closing. Wasn't really a good closer then. I definitely was just hopping on calls, try as much as possible to build value, and then ask them like, okay, would you like me to work with you? That was my closing tactics, right? So I had like kind of an okay skill, and not basically say an okay closing skill, right? I was actually getting a couple of sales because I was basically trying to find people that really need this service, right? I really, really need the service because my approach to actually build get clients for my funnel design business was to build a template, send it out to them, especially business that don't have a funnel already or website. Those are actually their funnel looks like complete shitty, right? And it was not really good. So I made sure the people I was reaching out to were really good, and people that reached out to me, like, I actually had like a qualification. One thing I learned early was qualify prospects. So I made sure that before I hop on a call with them, I had all of that fixed. But when I actually like did try doing appointments and trying to find my first job, really didn't make it. Actually, was quite hard. I then went from there and I started looking for like a process to actually implement this stuff. So I implemented these three skills, right? And I was doing like drop servicing, drop products, kind of, but digital product for drop digital product, something like that. I think I recently found a name. And all I was basically doing was I find a product, right? I find a product. I find a mid ticket product, fine. Yeah, mid. ticket products. I find the mid-ticket products. Then I generate leads. Then I actually book appointments. But most of the time, I wasn't really booking appointments. So I was doing two stuff for the product. So some I actually book appointments, right? And some I actually close it. Because I actually found out the persons that were actually doing lead generation, some of the persons were actually interested in the offer. So I found out I could start actually closing. What am I clicking? I could actually close the calls, close the deals in the DM. I wasn't really hopping on calls. Some I actually hopped on a call, maybe like an audio call, but that's when I actually started going closing calls. So I was in calls in the DM and sometimes on Zoom. Right at that time, I was basically doing it camera off, so basically doing DM and call closing. Right, I was basically doing it. That was basically how I found my first gig. Then I was doing that for a while before I got my first official gig. But my first official gig was as a hybrid closer, basically a hybrid sales rep, right? Now, what you might wonder was a hybrid sales rep. So basically, I was doing both appointments, right? I was doing both appointments setting and I was doing closing, right, for the business. It was really not hard, right? Sorry, it was hard, definitely, because you find the leads. I was kind of doing like everything here, right? I was doing everything here for the business because I had like skill sets and like track records. So now, was I able to actually achieve this? Right? It was a simple process. So first thing I actually did was I always mentioned you need the sales foundation, right? Where is yeah? So you need a sales foundation. Basically, I got the sales foundation, right? I have mentioned I've actually like gone through a lot of training, YouTube. Doesn't really matter where you get the sales foundation. You can actually get it from paid, or you can get it from paid, or you get it from a free resource. Doesn't really matter. The approach you get the sales foundation doesn't really matter, but you just need to actually understand how the skill set works, right? Now, once I actually got the sales foundation, I basically tried to like get a little bit of experience the best way possible. So I actually built up experience. Now, most people are like, "Oh, give me the job. I just need to get experience." Best way I actually build experience was actually like doing like selling, indirect selling, indirect digital sales, and these sales actually included me doing two stuff. I was doing appointment setting and closing. So I was actually doing hybrid roles, right? Appointment setting and closing. Sometimes I close the deals in the DM, right? Sometimes I actually close the deals in the DM because I made sure the business had a VSL that was kind of very good and explanatory enough. And then the next thing I started doing was apply with this bank, right? I really didn't have much, but I could basically cook up a Loom video. Right now, my Loom video will basically run through first thing um, myself, right? Basically, the value I actually bring, right? Um, the value I bring, it could be like, okay, I've gone through this training, I've done this, basically touched on my experience and touched on the problem I want to solve, right? I'm touching on the problem I want to solve, right? Because I made sure like the businesses I was reaching out to, they had like a scaling problem. Either they had a scaling problem or they had like a booking call problem. I just made like posts and stuff like that because that was my approach of actually getting appointment setting roles. I joined actual communities. Now let me break the process of me getting these roles. Now this was basically all I needed, right? The foundation, a little bit of experience, and I had compiled all of them together. Now how I was basically getting roles was quite simple. I wasn't really doing cold DMs because I never liked cold DMs, right? I've done it before, but I never liked cold DM. So all the approach I was actually doing was quite easy. I first joined a niche-based group, and I always tell you there are tons of niche-based groups, right? For me, it was Facebook. At that time, Facebook was not as saturated as now. But if you want to join a good Facebook group, check out the sales channel group. My group has 3,000 members right now. But basically, I was joining the main a sales niche based group, and the groups I was basically joining was quite easy. So, kind of clients I actually wanted to work with were coaches, course creators, right? Coaches and course creators. That was a basic niche I actually wanted to work with. I didn't really had that in mind, right? I just wanted to work with anyone, but I definitely easily found out, okay, these were the best niches to work with. And I've been following a certain guy for a while, Russell Brunson. You know him from ClickFunnels. I didn't ask myself basically because I think I watched the YouTube video. I really don't know how I came up with that. Where do these people hang out? Right? Where do these coaches and course creators hang out? Because yeah, people who join, you could join coaches and course creator groups, but I was like, how can I niche down a little bit? So I found the softwares these people actually use. One software they use, back to the guy I mentioned, Russell Brunson, is ClickFunnels. So I joined groups like ClickFunnels, and ClickFunnels groups still active, right? ClickFunnels, and there was Kajabi. At that time, Go High Level wasn't crazy, right? There was Kajabi, and there was another group around some other softwares, right? So you can join like the funnels design, funnel softwares, or you could join like the email marketing softwares. Right now, there are automation softwares too. You could definitely join them. Most of these businesses are actually using this stuff, right? So you definitely know they're reaching out directly to people who are using this stuff. And it was easy. Most people are actually sharing their testimonial. Right now, I think school and this community way of platform of communities have actually like made it have actually made it easy to find niche based communities. At that time it was kind of complex, right? But right now all I did find those communities and I joined them, right? And there are two ways. Now, in these communities, some of these business owners will come out and post job opportunities. So there were job boards on there. So there were job boards. Now, there were job boards, and the other approach I was basically doing was, okay, let's actually take this in here. There was job boards, and there was actually me creating posts. So I created simple posts. Now I had experience from my previous businesses I've actually run. When I was running a marketing agency, I would go to like groups, niche based groups, and I'll actually post stuff. Okay, how to get more sales for your business for this product. I was posting every single day. That's how I was getting clients. And when I was basically doing like funnel design, I did the same stuff, right? And I still joined like groups like ClickFunnels and other groups. And I was basically posting why you need a funnel, why you needed this, why you needed that, why you need this. And after a while, I would definitely get clients. I got a couple of clients. So when I actually came into appointments as a closing, because I didn't want to do a lot of those stuff, I went into those groups. I started posting stuff like how you could book calls, how you could book more calls, how you could get calls, how you could book more calls on your booking call funnel and stuff like that. So I was writing posts, right? Easy to write posts, right? And on the side, I was actually still doing the mid tickets, sale and stuff on the side, right? So I was still doing this on the side. Got a product at a very low price, like 500, sometimes 300. Then I actually mock up the price and like double the price sometimes, like add like 200, $100 on top and actually sell it again, right? So it was like digital products. It was easy. The onboarding was super easy and stuff like that. But this I was basically doing that. But main here I was trying to find a position and definitely making posts like that, businesses will start reaching out to you like, hey, how can basically can you like book calls for me? Can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? And that was basically how I got a position. It was super easy, right? So I like made like value posts. Now, in this value post, I wasn't really creating like lead magnet posts because most of these groups were like communities for these coaches. Most of them didn't really like the selling thing. So you can't really come with like, oh, I'm giving out this, send me a DM. No, most of them really were like frowning against it because they didn't want someone to come monopolize the group. So I created like value posts, and people that got value from it will actually send me a DM. And I will not get inbound messages. I always say find a way you can actually turn your outbound approach to inbound messages. Once you actually find out the process, you can actually do that. You can work anywhere and you have value to actually provide. And when I get inbound messages, the process from there was super easy. First thing I do is I qualify them, right? So I qualify them, right? I qualify them by asking questions. I qualify them by asking questions, right? And it was not difficult, right? Definitely very easy. You just go and chat GPT, ask, oh, what questions should I ask a business that's trying to hire me as an appointment staff? It's going to give you a couple of questions, but the key questions I usually ask, like, how do you get leads? Am I doing outbound or inbound? What's your current book call rate? What's your show up rate? I need to actually compare myself and know I can grade myself to know where I'm performing well or not. What's your close rate? Do you have testimonials? How much does the product cost? What does your fulfill? I think I learned the fulfillment side later on, right? What does your fulfillment structure look like? Because that's one key part. If your fulfillment structure is trash, you definitely it's going to affect you in the long run, right? But this was the easy process, right? This was the simple process I used to land the role, right? Find niche-based communities for the particular niche you want to use, work in or whatever. Then find where these people hang out, because that's the key part. If you're facing this solution, they hang out in these particular places. And it's kind of works with other platforms. Let me basically give you guys a strategy to find roles on like job platform, job sites. What you could do is works there is you find the job listing, right? You find job listing. When you find job listing, what you do is to go through the company, like who works there, find key people, network with them, reach out to them. You can find out more, and you can actually get your foot in the door. Another way to get people to actually know that you exist is now, in as much as I don't like cold DMs, there's one approach I know that has been very effective for me is when you join all those groups, instead of you just sending DMs, cold DMs on Instagram and on Facebook, do this stuff, right? Do this stuff. Start sending emails, right? Start sending emails. It is very effective, right? I mean, very effective because a lot of these businesses wake up in the morning and they check their emails, right? Don't tell anyone I told you this, but this is a very underrated strategy to find jobs. Find businesses you want to work with, put them in a spreadsheet, take 2, 3 days. 2, 3 days, you can definitely have like 3 to 500 emails of actual businesses. Make sure you've actually done all the research, check their Instagram, see how their content is, right? You don't want to find all those top big creators. You can find us 10, 50K, 15K, 30K people, right? Most of them do not have like appointment setters ready. They actually have like decent content doing well. Find them, get their emails and shoot them emails. Pitch yourself. The pitch is very easy, right? Let me break it down for you guys, right? So you have your scripts. If you really don't know what to write, get a copywriter or use ChatGPT, but make sure you put it through every ChatGPT, put it from ChatGPT to Cloud AI to rewrite it, or put it from ChatGPT to Perplexity. Make sure that it rotates around the place, but you want to actually pitch yourself. Same way you have your intro pitch. I always tell people have your intro pitch and your intro video. You want to actually write an article. Make sure you've done like a little bit research. But the fastest way to send a lot of emails, like you don't need to like send individual emails, is to make sure all the niches are actually in the same space, right? If you want to be reaching out to fitness, real estate, this, you have to actually send different messages to actually match all this audience. But if you're reaching out to just fitness businesses, maybe you can have fitness and actually find like 2 sub niches under fitness and maybe create 2 emails, right? But if you're just reaching out to fitness, you can send one email, go into ChatGPT and write through an email to get hired. I have an intro pitch. Give it your current intro pitch, tell it to convert it to an email, right? And you want it to actually have a hook to get them to watch your Loom video. ChatGPT is going to spit out something for you, which you're going to take, put it in your mail, and send out. But one thing you want to tell ChatGPT to do is, I'm sending this to a bulk list of emails, like 500 emails. I want it to sound like I'm talking individually to each and every one of them, right? They're all in the fitness niche. It's going to do that, right? You just need to learn how to prompt ChatGPT. So you have your email. So there's the body of the letter and body of the email, basically, right? Body of email, which is your pitch, right? Now your pitch and with a hook. Your pitch and hook. Now the hook is to get them to actually watch to watch the Loom video. You could host the Loom video on a sales page, but kind of very hard. Just put it you could definitely just put it directly on like Notion or something and have your Loom video. Funny thing is, there's a strategy that actually works. You want to do reverse psychology, right? There's a reverse psychology I used when I was starting out. Was I had a Loom video and I had a booking call button. So I had a booking call button, right? I got these people to book in a call with me and I hopped on calls. So instead of it to be an interview, it was me hopping on calls, qualifying them. I didn't really do that for long, but it was very effective. And it's one thing you could definitely do, right? It's definitely reverse psychology. But you could just get them to watch your Loom video and send you back an email. But the best thing that makes more sense is just booking a call with you. It makes a lot of sense. They're kind of qualifying themselves why they should work with you, right? Doing an approach like that makes you stand out, because I always tell people, I'm going to end with this, right? If you do what everyone else is not doing, you I always say, if you do what everyone else is doing, you see the same result. But now if you're doing what everyone else is not doing, you will see a difference. Results. So have this in mind, right? You just want to actually be a step ahead, right? Now, if you're wondering, what's a summary of all this whole stuff that Femi is basically talking about, is you want to actually take a different approach, reaching out, find niche-based communities. This strategy you mentioned, you can see I didn't actually mention a key platform. For me, it was Facebook, but this same strategy works on school and also works on LinkedIn, right? Same strategy, niche-based community, find softwares they use, join the community, interact. Some of these communities have job boards, create value posts every single day. I think you just need 30 days of content, right? It's very easy. If you join a very active niche-based community, it's super easy to get people interested in the service you're offering, right? The kind of post, I think I'm going to like create separate video showing what kind of contents, value contents to create in this group. But for this, it's definitely going, I think I'll just drop a 2-3 hour course, right? I'm going to drop like a 2-3 hour course. This thing's still on, right? It's still on here. So I'm going to drop like a 2-3 hour course before the end of this year, a full course you need for like 2024, 2025, right? So I'm going to drop that. But this is all you basically need, right? If you didn't actually get anything from this video, I just want to get this key part where it says you